Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a video, and it's going to be a collab video with Ali Actuality. She's my best friend and my roommate, and I will put a little video, or I don't know if I can do that in my editing, but I'll definitely put like a picture of her and you can click on it and it'll go to that video, and then definitely make sure you subscribe to her. She's awesome. I love her videos, and I'm not just saying that. She's really good, and like she's getting like professional really quickly, so definitely go subscribe to her and check her out. Like, you won't regret it. So both Ali and I work at Starbucks on our campus, and we deal with a lot of customers who, it's honestly, for some of them it's funny right off the bat, and others it's annoying at first, but then it's just really funny afterwards. So she wrote down a couple and I wrote down a couple, and we, so she said hers and I'm gonna say mine, and yeah, I hope you like them. That was a horrible intro, I'm so sorry, but we're just gonna get right into the video. Okay, so I'm not saying all of these are gonna make you like crack up laughing or anything. They're just really funny to me and my coworkers when I told them this, so I was like, oh, I'll put that one in the video. So the first one, and I'm gonna put like little like names of each person, and then you guys can comment like what you thought about that person, or you know, if you work at Starbucks or retail or anywhere, you can tell me of like a customer that was a really funny situation with a customer that you had. Yeah, so the first guy I'm gonna call Flat White Guy, and he, oh my god, this is like the one that made me the most, like, I'm gonna start out with the two that made me like annoyed, and then the other three are like more funny. So like it's funny now, like now that I think about it, it's funny. Okay, so I was at the register. I'm usually on register, so most all these things are happening like while I'm on register, and there was no one else in line, just this guy. And he came up. I had never seen him before, and usually I can recognize people, like customers, because they all go to my school. There was no one else in line, and he came up to the register and he asked me for a venti flat white. At our Starbucks, for whatever reason, I don't know why, don't tell me, oh well, other Starbucks have it, that's why I asked for that. I don't want to hear it. We didn't have flat whites in any other sizes besides talls. I don't know why, I don't care, like, that's just what we had, and it was on the menu, and the biggest thing was I did not have a button for it in the register, so I could not properly charge him for a venti flat white. And we've said this to other people have asked for like a grande flat white, a venti flat white, and I'll just say, oh, I'm so sorry, we actually only have flat whites and talls. Everyone else has always been like, oh, no problem, yeah, then can I just get that in a tall, or they'll get something else. And so I just kind of assumed that's what this guy was gonna do, and he didn't. I was like, no, I'm sorry, we actually only have flat whites and talls. And this guy just started getting so mad, and I used to be really bad with confrontation. Now I'm like okay with it, especially when I'm behind something. Like they can't hit me. Like, he couldn't hit me. He'd have to reach over and hit me, and so I knew he wasn't gonna hit me, so I was okay. At first, in my mind, he is gonna say, oh, don't worry about it, like, I'll just have a, you know, a tall then, or a blah blah. So when he started saying what he was saying, I was like, oh, you're mad. Oh, I'm sorry, kind of. He just started like yelling at me, like, you know, why the fuck don't you guys have venti flat whites? This is fucking ridiculous. And like saying just a lot of really derogatory shit that I don't feel comfortable saying on here, because I don't want to offend anyone with the words that I would use. So just know that he said very like offensive words describing our store, and I was just standing there like, and I was like kind of waiting for him to stop because I didn't want to be rude. Like, I always want to be like the bigger person and not, you know, get mad. I don't want to interrupt people. You know, I want to always look like the good guy. And because I usually am. I'm not the one to lose my temper. I'm not the one to yell back. I'm not the one to use like crude words back or anything like that. So once he took a breath and he stopped, I said, "Sir, I'm so sorry. I would give you a venti flat white and we would just make it, but I don't have a button for it on the register. I can't do it." And my manager was actually there. My manager stepped in and said, "Sir, she's absolutely right. You know, we don't have a pricing for you, so we really can't do it. We can't give you the flat white if we're not going to charge you properly. We don't want to over or undercharge you." And I was like, yeah. And this guy again was just like saying all this derogatory shit. I'm just like, okay, keep going. You sound real smart right now. Like, you sound real intelligent. And like all my other coworkers are just like looking over at me and my manager, and they're just like, why is he doing this? Because we don't have problems like that with our customers. Like, they're usually like really, really nice and don't cause fights or scenes or anything like that. And eventually my manager was like, "Paige, just give him the flat white. Like, just give him a venti flat white." And I was like, okay, whatever. So I picked it up, wrote the code, and I was like, I don't want to ask his name, because what if it's a really hard name? And because I didn't want to ask him how to spell it. And so I just kind of handed it to her, like, "Here you go." And she was like, "Oh, his name." I was like, fuck. So I was like, "What's your name, sir?" And he went, "Wayne." Well, in my sense of being very uncomfortable in this situation, I forgot how to spell Wayne. And I said, "I'm sorry, how do you spell that? Or can you spell it out for me?" And so he spelled it out, and I wrote it, and I gave it to my boss, and they made it. And I was like, "How do you want me to ring him up? Because I don't want to be the cause of overcharging him or undercharging him." So she did it, and he also, when, as she was ringing him up, he looked at me and was like, "Why'd you ask me how to spell my name?" And I was like, that's just what all Starbuckses do. You know, it's a way to be more relatable to the customers, and we want to make sure, you know, that you get your drink and then it's as personal to you as possible. And my manager stepped in and kind of said the same thing, and he was like, "Oh, I thought you guys spelled names wrong on purpose." And I was like, motherfucker, what the hell? Why'd you need to say that? Like, I don't understand. It was just so unnecessary. And then so my boss rang him up, and, you know, we did the transaction and everything. Once he walked out the door, once he had his drink, walked out the door, could no longer hear us, I saw him walking across outside. All of us turned to each other and was like, what the fuck? Why the fuck did he need to do that? And like, we all went through it and everything, and my supervisor was like, "Are you okay? Like, you handled that really well." I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then my manager came out and gave me the prices for grande and venti flat white, so we wouldn't have that problem again. We overcharged him for the flat white because he couldn't just deal with a regular flat white. We didn't mean to overcharge him, but like, we didn't know what else to do. I don't know how she got those prices. Like, I don't deal with that kind of stuff, but like, we overcharged him. Like, and she didn't mean to. Again, like, we did what we thought was gonna be the right thing. So, you know, shows that if sometimes you're an asshole, you're gonna get overcharged accidentally because you're an asshole. Okay, I know that was a really long story, and I swear to God, that's gonna be the longest story because that was like the longest time period. These next four are gonna be like really fast. The next one is, I'm gonna call her Caramel Macchiato Girl. So I started working last summer at the Starbucks, and I was training over the summer, so we have like no customers in the summer because it's a college, so people are only there for college classes, so there's like no one there. So we I had just learned hot bar, and obviously I caramel macchiatos on hot bar because it has espresso in it. And I was making this girl her caramel macchiato, and I saw her like staring over at me, like on the, like, you know when you lean on the ledge you can like see over to both the espresso machines. Like I saw her watching me, and that didn't really bother me at all. Oh, really quickly about an espresso shot, after like 5 seconds, don't quote me on that, 5 or so seconds, the shot dies. And when the shot dies, it gets really, really bitter and doesn't taste like really smooth and caramelly. So I didn't know that though. I honestly did not learn that until like a couple months ago, which is bad. But yeah, and so, but once milk hits it, it like wakes it up or something. Don't quote me on any of that. Not an expert. Yeah. So I was sequencing everything, and I was, you know, steaming the milk, pumping the syrup, queuing the shots, all that kind of stuff. And I poured the milk in, and the espresso goes on top on a caramel macchiato, so I poured the espresso shots in. And as soon as I did that, she was like, excuse me? And I like looked over at her, and she was like, the shots died. Would you mind like remaking my drink? I'm like, so sorry. And she seemed really sweet, so I was like, yeah, like that's not a problem at all. I wasn't gonna say no. So I dumped out her drink, did it again. I made this girl's drink 4 times, because each time she said, could you make my drink again? Like the shots died. And I'm not saying this is like her fault, like it was more my fault because I didn't understand the whole shots dying thing. But I guess one time I did it faster, and she, like, I did the little caramel thing, the little lattice on top, put the top on. I was like, here you go. And she was like, thank you so much. I used to work at Starbucks, so I know, like, when the shots die and stuff, and they just taste so bad. They die after, like, a minute, and it's just really gross to put them in a drink. And I was like, yeah, you worked at Starbucks? Yeah? It's nice. Please leave. Just please leave. Like, I don't mind if you want me to remake your drink again. Like, I don't care. I don't mind that. Like, that's fine. Once I give you your drink, leave. I don't care if you've worked at Starbucks. I don't care if you work now. I don't care if you work at my Starbucks. Leave. Leave. I don't care. I have other drinks to make. Go away. So the next one is we're going to call him the 2 mocha guy. So we have this guy that comes up and he goes, 2 mochas. And, like, with that accent. And we just know him as that. I know his name and everything, and he's really cool. So he came up one time, and he was like, 2 mochas. And I was like, okay, what size? And he went, small size. And I was like, okay, cool. So I wrote that one, and I was like, what about the other one? Do you want it small as well? And he was like, no, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, like, what size? What does mean? What does it mean? What are you doing? And I was like, I'm sorry, do you want another small? He was like, no, venti. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. I can do venti. I don't know what is. That is like a short. And I realized you can't, like, you could go like that, but I realized that's not what you're doing. But, like, speak words, don't speak. Like, I don't know what that means. The next one I'm gonna call the black tea guy. So he came up and said, can I have one of your Tivana teas? And I said, yes. Do you want it hot or iced? Because usually when people say Tivana teas, they want the hot teas. But sometimes they don't. So he said iced, and I was like, okay. So I got the venti iced, and I wrote black tea, and I was like, do you want it sweetened? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. And I was like, would you like lemonade with that? Because usually when people want it sweetened, that means they don't mind sweet, so I suggest the lemonade. I was like, would you like lemonade with that? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. Do you want mango with it? Yeah. Do you want our mango black tea lemonade? Yeah. supposed to know you want the mango black tea lemonade by you just saying Tivana black tea? How would I know that? The next one, I'm gonna call her the vanilla girl. So, and this is the last one. So this girl comes up, and she does this multiple times. She comes up to the register and goes, can I have a tall vanilla? A vanilla what? Latte. Why would I know that? And before you go, well, she obviously like means latte every time. No, she changes it each time. Sometimes it's, can I have a vanilla? A vanilla what? Iced coffee. Why would I just know that? Why would I just know that off the top of my head? I can't just like look at you in your brain and know what you're thinking. I don't when you say vanilla, you could mean latte, iced coffee, iced latte, regular coffee, frappuccino. I don't know what you mean. Don't just say a flavor. Because if you just say a flavor, I'm just going to give you pumps of syrup in a cup. Don't just say a flavor. Say a drink. You have to say the drink name. That's why we have the names. And those are all like the funny Starbucks scenarios that I've had so far. I'm sure there have been more, I just can't think of any. But I'm going to make this part 1. And I'm sure Allie and I will have more like funny scenarios. And now that we're thinking about it, we're probably going to like start writing them down and stuff. So yeah, so again, make sure you guys go check out Allie's video. I'm going to link it like here and then down there and everywhere. I burped. So yeah, make sure you guys go watch that and let me know which one you like thought was funniest, or if you didn't think any were funny, or if you were like, wow, I can't believe they did that. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for watching.